Welcome to Byron Bay. Cape Byron Light is an active heritage-listed lighthouse and now interpretative center, interpretative space, maritime museum, administration office, retail building, accommodation, tourist attraction and visitor attraction located at Cape Byron on the far north coast of New South Wales, Australia. The lighthouse is very well known, attracting more than 500,000 visitors per year. It is also a popular site for whale watching, with Southern Cross University's Whale Research Center located at the lighthouse. It was designed by Charles Harding and Cecil W. Darley and built from 1899 to 1901 by Messrs. Mitchell and King. Cape Byron Light is Australia's most powerful lighthouse, with a light intensity of 2,200,000 candelas. Cape Byron, the easternmost point of the mainland of Australia, is approximately 3 kilometers northeast of the town of Byron Bay. For thousands of years, the Cape Byron headland has been a significant place for the Bundjalung people of Byron Bay. Traditionally known as Kavanba, the Cape and its environment provided the local Aboriginal people with physical and spiritual resources, which sustained both life and culture. The crest of the Cape Byron headland provided the Bundjalung people with an elevated lookout point for economic, social, and religious purposes. At the most easterly point of mainland Australia, Cape Byron was first observed by Captain James Cook on May 15, 1770, who subsequently named the headland after his fellow navigator Vice Admiral John Byron. Following the traditional hierarchy of light stations, the tower has a commanding view across the precinct, which consisted of a headkeeper's and assistant keeper's quarters of the Victorian Georgian style, as well as a signal station, store buildings, and flagstaff. Construction of the site began in July 1900 by contractors Mitchell and King. The total cost was a £10,042 to the contractors, a $8,000 for the apparatus and lantern house, and a $2,600 for the road from Byron Bay Township. Construction ended in 1901 and was to be celebrated on November 30th, 1901, in a great banquet with special trains carrying visitors from Lismore and Murwillumbah. At the presence of the premier of the day, the Hon. John C., who was to arrive from Sydney in the government steamer Victoria. However, bad weather delayed the ship till the following day, and the banquet was held without him. The opening by the premier took place a day later. The Cape Byron Light Station was initially manned by a head keeper and 2 assistant keepers, who lived on the light station with their respective families, but after control of lighthouses in Nuss was transferred to the Australian government in 1915. Light stations were gradually, but progressively automated and demoed. The Cape Byron Light Station is the most well-known and highly visited light station in Australia, spread across a long, narrow ridgeline on the most eastern point of Australia. The historic Cape Byron Light Station precinct consists of a lighthouse tower with entry hall and flag store, head keeper's quarters and assistant keeper's quarters with storerooms, privies, and rear yards, and a workshop or paint or store building. A contemporary cafe building and toilet structure has been constructed off the rear wall of the head keeper's quarters storeroom. The Cape Byron Lighthouse is a circular tower, approximately 22 meters in height to the top of the lantern. Built of precast concrete blocks on a mass concrete foundation, the tower includes a concrete circular staircase with metal balustrade to its upper chambers and second floor. A metal staircase continues to the lantern room. The lighthouse includes a 13-inch chance brose and co-lantern on a Henry Lepout Mercury float pedestal. The lighthouse has a concrete balcony with a trachyte balustrade. The lighthouse contains a museum and the significant movable heritage items, including the 38-cent I-meter chance brose and co-red sector light, 1889, on a cast iron pedestal. The original curved timber desk, 1899 to 1901, and the Clockwork Lantern Winch 1901. The head keeper's quarters, to the south of the lighthouse tower and orientated to the east, is a standalone single-story building constructed of rendered precast concrete blocks with a red tile roof in the Victorian Georgian style. The quarters contains 5 main rooms off a central hallway, as well as a kitchen, laundry and bathroom, and a detached store and privy. A veranda with infilled corners extends around all sides of the dwelling. The lens now in use is the original 1-street order bivalve Henry Lepout Fresnel lens. The 2-meter diameter lens, weighing 8 tons, contains 760 pieces of highly polished prismatic glass, floating in a 356 kilograms. Float Bath of Mercury.it was the first lighthouse in Australia with a mercury float mechanism. The mechanism is rotating also during the day to reduce the risk of fire from the sun's rays. It is the only Henry Lepout apparatus in Australia. The station was fully automated in 1989, and the last lighthouse keeper departed. The light characteristic shown is a white flash every 15 seconds. The tower also displays a red, short-ranged, continuous light to the northeast, covering Julian rocks and the nearby reefs. The red light is emitted at a lower focal plane. The Cape Byron headland is of state heritage significance for its occupation by the Bunjalung people of the Byron Bay area for many thousands of years prior to European settlement. The Cape and its environment provided the local Aboriginal people with physical and spiritual resources, which sustained both life and culture. Technically, the Cape Byron Light Station is also of state heritage significance, as it contains Australia's only Henry Lepout lantern and optic on a rotating mercury float mechanism. Considered leading optical technology at the turn of the 20th century, this optical system is still in operation as a navigational aid today, and its retention is of great value to the significance of the Cape Byron Light Station. The Cape Byron Light Station, including movable items, is also of state heritage significance for the rarity of its optical system. Still in operation and used today, the Henry Lepout 2-sided bivalve lens system on a rotating mercury float mechanism was considered to be leading optical technology of the period, and its retention is of great value to the significance of the Cape Byron Light Station. The place has a strong or special association with a particular community or cultural group in New South Wales for social, cultural, or spiritual reasons. The Cape Byron Light Station is of state heritage significance for its social values data as well as a historic social value to the Bunjalung people of Byron Bay. The Cape Byron headland has a thriving contemporary social significance for the Iroquois people. With a formal and active role in the joint care and management of the Cape Byron Headland Reserve, which incorporates the light station, the Iroquois people continue their custodianship of country and cultural practice on the site. Although the construction of the light station destroyed traditionally sacred and cultural sites, today's Iroquois community run educative initiatives at the headland which raise public awareness and appreciation for the Aboriginal cultural heritage of the Cape. Named Walgan by the local Iroquois people meaning the shoulder, these initiatives aim to explore the traditional ownership of the headland by the Bunjalung people and how the Aboriginal cultural heritage values of the site are not confined to the past but are flourishing due to the joint care, control, and custodianship of the reserve by the Iroquois people. The Cape Byron Light Station, including movable items, is of state heritage significance as a representative station along NUS Highway of Lights, a system of navigational aids installed along the coastline in the mid to late 19th century. Important to the safe passage of shipping in NUS, the system of light stations has a collective significance that reflects the logistical management for installing coastal infrastructure and the technical evolution of the stations.